Hi, Dr. Lisa Thompson here, and in this video I am going to share with you the concept of tagging and how you can use it to build your business. Tagging people is a great way to create a buzz about a product, service, or webinar that can go viral very quickly, and it can give you a steady stream of leads because people love to be part of something fun and something that's happening and has a lot of buzz. So here's how I go about tagging people before, during, and after an event. And I learned this from Diane Hockman. So let's say that your organization is doing a webinar and it's launching a new product. And back on Thursday, this past Thursday night, I was involved in a webinar where Adam Chandler and Justice Egan were promoting one of their launches, and they asked me to come and promote it. So what I did is before the webinar even started, like about 15 minutes before, what I did is I went and I found 5 or 6 other people who were also part of this group, and we decided that we were going to kind of take team together and we were going to promote this. Now it's really important that these are people that you already know. Okay, it can be people who are within, you guys are all members of the same group, or it may be somebody in your downline. But it's absolutely critical that prior to doing the tagging, you have their permission to do so. If not, it can create some very bad vibes among people, not to mention it can land you in Facebook jail because you are tagging people who, you didn't give permission to, or you didn't get permission from, excuse me. And what you also want to do too is, if you know the presenter of the webinar, to get their permission to tag them as well. Because what happens is when you tag people, and these are people that you're friends with on Facebook, what happens is that post will show up in their timeline as well. So here's what I did. About 15 minutes before the webinar started, I put out a graphic and I made a meme, and it said, I'm going to a super cool hangout with my friends, Adam Chandler and Justice Egan. It's a walk-off, old school rules apply, who else is going? And then what I did is I put in the link to the webinar. So I put that in first, and then other people who wanted to come in, and I didn't tag anybody yet with that. I wanted to put that out there first as the starting point. Then what I did was, let's see, I gotta go back here. And then when it came closer, it was like 10 minutes until the webinar training. Then what I did is I put in the people who agreed that I could tag them. I said, Anna and Stephanie have joined me on the front row of the runway. Music's going, crowd's filling up. Who else is here? If you want to come, I've got a seat saved for you. Message me and I will get you in. Now it's real important once you start the tagging that you do not put your link, whether it's to the registration to the webinar or the affiliate link or your order link. And I'll tell you why, because that's cookied to you. And if you start tagging people with your link in it, so let's say I put my link in and it went to Anna's timeline, and Anna's friends saw that link and they decided they were going to buy, I got credit for the sale, but I cheated Anna out of the opportunity to get credit for it. So it's really important once you start tagging, you leave your links out. And then we keep going with some pre-promotion, and all of a sudden it starts. And then again, I didn't put anybody in on the tag, so then all I did is put my link in. And it's real easy to tag people. You can write in, if you write the person's name, like here, and then their name just comes down. Then once the webinar starts, what you do then is you start tagging people, and then what you do is you're creating more of a buzz about what you're hearing from the speakers. So you're going to kind of, share some insight. Like I had one here that said, whoa, and then the people who again agreed to be tagged. Did you see that first marketing walk-off move by Adam and Justice? Reflect on 2013. What were your biggest successes and what can you do better? I wrote down my biggest ahas. What were yours? And then people will be talking about it. So then what you're doing is, if you noticed here, Dustin, he's a good friend of mine, but he wound up not being initially tagged, but all of a sudden he wanted to be included. So he made a comment. And so we began to tag him, and he also messaged me privately that he wanted to be tagged. And then we keep going and we keep talking about it. And then what happens is, as we keep talking, there are some people. Now, let me bring back here. This is someone who I never, a friend of mine who I didn't even talk anything about this, all of a sudden is seeing what's going on with this event. She's starting to like it. Now, I come back here and we keep talking, and all of a sudden we were creating such a buzz that this gal here decided she wanted the link. And then all of a sudden, there are the links. And then I was able to give her the link when that happens. So we keep going. Now, here's the thing. Okay, and you can see how fun, I tried to make it very fun. And then what happens is once the presenter makes the offer to the product that you want your people to buy, and the minute that offer is made, that's when you stop tagging, and then you put your link out there. Okay, and so what you do, and that's exactly what I did here. All right, that way you can get credit for the sale. And then what happens is when you're doing this tagging, a lot of times people, your taggers will either, they'll like the comment. They'll like or make a comment below saying, I'm really excited that, I ordered it too, or something to that effect. Or they'll be like, hey, this is great. And so you keep doing that, but then you just, toward the post promotion, you just stop, you stop tagging. But you can kind of, if you do tag, just make sure you don't put your link in there. And then again, when you're using images, please make sure too that they're not any way offensive or sexually explicit. You want to keep them fun. You don't want to be doing anything that's really gaudy. I think for me, whenever I've been tagged in a post, and usually sometimes I will report people who tag me as if I get tagged from some opportunity person where they're spreading out with like a comp plan, or they're fanning out lots of cash saying, oh my gosh, you got to join this, apply now. Don't do anything like that. You want to keep this professional and keep it classy. So, because that's going to reflect also on the presenters. So if you're doing that, you want to hold those presenters in the highest esteem as well. So that's it about tagging. And if you have any other questions or concerns, just drop me a line on Facebook. Thanks. Bye.